What's up, people of YouTube? I'm Karsatowski and welcome to the Karsatowski Eats YouTube channel. So in today's video, I am going to be comparing one of my personal favorite foods of all time, chicken wings. And what better places to try these chicken wings than Buffalo Wild Wings, which is probably my favorite casual slash formal type bar food place, whatever. I don't really know what you would consider Buffalo Wild Wings to be, and against their competitors, which are very similar, Wings and Rings. And I've had both of these a decent amount of times over the year, one of them more so than others, I should say, but I am gonna finally put them to the test in this video. So before we can do that, we have to actually drive to both these locations. So let's go. All right, everyone, so we are back from that road trip and we have Wings and Rings and Wild Wings with us. I'm gonna call Buffalo Wild Wings B-dubs. That's normally what I call it, and I'm just gonna call Wings and Rings because it's shortened for that. So we have two different boxes right here and pretty similar sizes. The Wings and Rings comes with 5 as their smallest size, and B-dub's smallest size is 6. So Wings and Rings comes in 5, 10, 15, 20, pretty much in 5s. And then the B-dubs goes by half a dozen, so 6, 12, 18, 24, stuff like that. So I am going to start with Wings and Rings first. And I open up right here and it smells so good. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it smells so good. And these are their original buffalo. And it's the same exact flavor for each one of them, so that it's a lot more fair. Pretty traditional flat wing. Honestly though, I want you guys to write down in the comments which you would prefer, flats or drumsticks. For me personally, I don't really have a preference towards any one of them, although the drumsticks are definitely easier when you're doing challenges like the Blazing Challenge from B-dubs, which is a future video, by the way, so stay tuned for that. But let's try a flat wing from Wings and Rings. That's good. That mild sauce over there. Yeah, it looks like it's covered a little bit with peppers. You can't see it on camera, but there's like little black specks, almost like pepper. This is a pretty good wing. Nice and tender, nice, moist and juicy. A lot of times, places that don't necessarily are known for high quality food, they can be kind of a little bit too crispy, like the chicken is a little bit overcooked, but this is perfect right here. I am surprised. I haven't had Wings and Rings in like 6 years. That's a phenomenal wing right here. Wow. This is so good. I prefer to eat with one hand when I'm just casually eating wings, so that I have a free hand to grab a drink or to do whatever with it. So if it kind of looks weird eating a flat wing with one hand, that's why. And I just don't really like both hands to be too messy, along with my mouth too. Okay, I think it's getting kind of awkward for you guys to watch me eat that wing, so I'm gonna put it down. Cooked perfectly, great sauce. It doesn't have like a super exclusive flavor, but for a mild flavor, you're not really looking for a super intense flavor in your mouth. So I'd have to rate the overall wing a solid 8 out of 10. That right there is pretty much exactly what I want in a wing when I'm on my lunch break, or if I'm just going into the actual restaurant and eating with friends. That is an example of a great chicken wing right there. And now let us go to B-dub's chicken wing. Now, the texture of this one is definitely a lot more solid. The Wings and Rings wing is a lot more tender to the touch. It's a little bit more moist, but the B-dub's wing is a lot more firm. And again, I got these pretty much right around the same time, and also looking at it very carefully, this one's a little bit more orange, and the sauce isn't quite as juicy, I guess. It looks like it's a little bit more baked into the sauce. And the B-dubs doesn't have quite as much sauce residue, but the Wings and Rings has a pretty decent amount of sauce residue. So not as much sauce on the juicy side, but let's see how it tastes. Immediately what I noticed right away is this is a little bit more tough. It seems like they've left this in the fryer a little bit longer, and I don't know if you can tell from the camera, but the B-dub's wing is actually a little bit more meaty. I don't know if it's just a randomly chose wing or something, but this definitely seems to have a little bit more meat on it. Overall, still really good flavor. I can tell that this has a little bit more of a punch. I can taste a little bit more of the pepper in here as opposed to the Wings and Rings, but pretty similar taste overall. Not as runny of a wing. My fingers have a little bit of sauce on them, but not as much as Wings and Rings. Still really good though. Still a very phenomenal wing. Wow. Okay, I'm done with that one. I think it's a little awkward for you guys to just watch me do that. I just feel like it's a little bit cringe to watch me eat a flat wing with only one hand. Most people take both hands and they just go over for it, but I'm not gonna do that quite here. So overall, felt like I got a little bit in my throat. So overall, both are phenomenal. The Wings and Rings wings are definitely a little bit more tender, a little bit more juicy overall, a little bit more sauce residue. And the B-dub's wings, they are a little bit more meaty, a little bit more tougher, and not as much sauce residue. So I rated the Wings and Rings as a solid 8 out of 10, and it is super close to me, but I'm gonna have to rate B-dubs as an 8.5 out of 10. So overall, in my opinion, B-dubs has just the slightly better wing. Both of these are their original buffalo, and both of them are very similar on a lot of levels. But then again, two of the top wings chains throughout the United States, you kind of expect them to have very high quality wings. Definitely recommend both of these. Original Buffalo is probably about in my top 10 favorite sauces. I don't know if I'll do another comparison with any other of their items, but definitely I will do another B-dubs video in the future and probably put it against another competitor. But I would be perfectly fine with eating both of these. Absolutely. So I recommend you go to your local Wings and Rings if you have one, or if you don't have that, go to B-dubs. I highly recommend it for those of you who have for some reason never gone before. I highly recommend it. So that's about all for this video. So if you enjoy this type of content that I make, this is a relatively new YouTube channel, so I would appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below so you'll never miss any of my videos. I'm Karsatowski. Keep watching my content, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya. And I think I'm just gonna sit here and eat some of these. Try both at the same time. So good. See you guys.